I want to welcome you guys to the Frame of Mind podcast. Today, we have a special guest, Hot Yoga Ferndale owner and yoga instructor.
Hi.
How you doing?
My name's Andrea.
Her name is Andrea.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How you feeling today?
Good. It's overcast, which is my favorite kind of weather.
Why?
I love when the sky is white because it feels like no pressure.
Okay.
You can be productive or you can be like lazy.
Okay.
I don't like when it's raining though.
Yeah.
That's not comfortable, but I love when the sky is overcast because no pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure kind of weather.
All right, so we're gonna get right into it. Like, kind of just explain like your journey into yoga. Like, what got you first into yoga?
My first experience with yoga was through my family. My sister brought my mom to her first yoga class when we were on a family vacation. And then when we got back home to Michigan, my mom brought me and my brother to our first class, and I was 13 or 14.
13.
And it was the same type of yoga that we teach here. Okay. So it was a very unique experience. Anybody who has tried this traditional hot 90 Bikram yoga style of yoga, it can be very like overwhelming your first time. And so coming in, I had no context. I knew that it was hot, but I didn't know what that even meant, really. And then, so it was just a very wild experience, but my mom just kept going back and she would just bring us because we were her kids. And so it just became kind of like such a part of my norm. It was very normal to do that. Just like you get carted off to a sport or carted off to play some type of instrument. Right. It was just like, okay, you're doing yoga now. And it's like, oh, okay. And it became so normal for us that I didn't realize that people didn't do yoga or weren't aware of what yoga was. Yeah. So, it was for my mom.
Okay. So, like, how long have you been doing yoga, and like, how important is it, do you feel, for yoga to be like implemented in a person's lifestyle?
Okay, 2 questions. So, as far as how long I've been practicing, yoga itself is not just going into a room and doing stretches, which is what a lot of us like that, like from like someone first getting introduced to yoga, that's what we kind of think that's what it is. But yoga is actually a spiritual practice that is ancient, and it goes back thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And the practice of movement is only like one little tiny aspect of it. And that's what a lot of our Western culture does. So as far as that little tiny bit of it, I've been doing that since I was 14. And then once I started to drive, I would go by myself. I would bring all my friends. We would go before school. And then throughout my 20s, I continued to do it a little bit more sporadically just because it cost money and it was like far away to drive. There weren't a lot of yoga studios. And so I've been doing it since then. So at 20 plus years.
20 plus years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then how important is it to include yoga in your lifestyle? It really is your preference. Okay. You know, and there's so many types of yoga. And like I said, yoga isn't just moving your body in a specific way. It's there's spirituality to it. There's simply just focusing on your breath, doing breath work, meditation, and learnings and studies. So all of that is all yoga. And so you can be doing a breathwork practice every day, and that is you doing yoga.
Okay. So kind of like elaborate on like the breath part. So for me, I don't know anything, so I'm coming in here very dumbfounded right now. So just kind of like explain to me like the different techniques.
Okay, so I mean, there's like one very like simple breath. Like there's, if you Google and just like look YouTube breathing exercise 5 minutes, there's gonna be a deluge of like different types of breath work. But like one you can do is like you can inhale for 4 counts, hold it for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, and hold it for 4 counts. And so it's called like a box breath. And you can choose any number. Or you can like inhale for a certain amount of counts, and then you can exhale for a longer amount of counts. Or you can inhale through one nostril, exhale through another nostril. And so there's so many different ways to explore your breath. Inhale, feel your belly rise and fall. Feel your rib cage rise and fall. It's just bringing awareness to something that is instinctual. It's something that you don't have to think about. And so bringing mindfulness to it is bringing appreciation for something. And it also, I think, can give you more, if you can find appreciation in something so simple that's just given to us, I think that it's a lot easier to have appreciation for everything else.
Absolutely. Could you kind of go in and explain how does yoga correlate with that?
These are really big questions, and I'm going to do my best to answer them.
Okay, for sure.
I think that can be as much or as little as you want it to be. And the way that I interpret it is, so yoga itself has like an 8-limb. We're getting it. It has 8 limbs. It's like an 8-limbed pathway, and on that pathway, the movement is one aspect of it, but the whole thing is, as far as like spiritual practice, it is kind of like, it is how you treat people, how you treat yourself, how you interact with the world around you. And so that in and of itself, whether or not you choose to acknowledge it, is spiritual. Or it's energetic, I would say. And at the end of the day, it comes from ancient people, and there were many different deities that some people incorporate into their spiritual practice. I learn about it. It's not something that I currently like pray to any of the deities, but I know about them. And but it's more so just like knowing where does this come from? What is the lineage that has led me to this building and to this position? And so acknowledging that, I think, is important, to not take away the history behind it. Because if you do that, it's kind of like, I think it's disrespectful.
So for sure, 100%. Okay, so you've been doing this for 20 years, 20 plus years, I would say, right?
Well, as far as the practice goes, but we just celebrated our 8th anniversary here.
Okay,
So 8
congratulations.
years here.
Congratulations. Oh, so this goes right into my next question.
Yeah.
Speak on some of the challenges that you had. Oh, that's a trigger. No. But if you could, just kind of speak on like some of the challenges that you may have faced, like just being in business. Just, because like people, they only see, most of the time people just see the results.
Yeah.
They don't see like the work that's been put in or like the late nights and things like that that you've had the experience. So just kind of touch on
some of the challenges.
Yeah.
I would say the first thing that you said and why I made that face was floods. It's like, for some reason, there's always a flood.
Yeah.
Whether it's the HVAC acting up or the plumbing, or there's like some reason water has always constantly been a thing. But like you said, nobody really sees the late nights and stuff.
No.
There's been times where we've had a flood and I've had to cancel classes for one day, and then I was just in here elbow grease. And then last time I actually had like a lot of support from like some students and some teachers, and they helped, and we like got it together. And then the next day people came in none the wiser.
Okay.
We have all new rugs and everything, and so yes, floods. And then my friend opened up a business, and then she had a flood within her like first 2 months, and I was like, that's what happens.
It's the business.
Yeah, but that's one thing.
Okay.
I would say something that is a challenge that I was grateful to hear from other people. I'm actually in a group chat with other hot yoga studio owners. I'm so grateful for them. They're like my mentors, and I really look up to them and respect them. And we got into this group chat during 2020 because we were like, what do we do? What are our next steps?
Yeah.
And them sharing their similar anxieties was very helpful for me because I'm new to business.
Okay.
And one thing that they said in that group chat was, we opened yoga studios because we love yoga, but we didn't open it because we love business.
Right.
And so you kind of have to learn on the fly about business unless you actually went to school for business you are, a business enthusiast.
Yeah.
I am not one of those people. I never went to school for business, never was a math person. And so like, those were things that I had to learn, or those were also things that just suffered.
Gotcha.
So fortunately, especially in the more recent years, I've had a lot more help with like getting structure and systems put into place. And so, the business part of it has been the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
The yoga part of it was something that felt very natural and a part of my life. And same with like the creativity and all of that, but the business part was the biggest challenge for me.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, like for me, when I was when I had first gotten into film and things like that, like I really didn't know the business side of things.
Yeah.
I had reached out to a person, they told me to do my research, so that's what I did. And I feel like a lot of us, we learn as we go.
Yeah.
So that's good for us, especially like people who are not afraid to share knowledge and things like that. So the next person that's coming up, we've been through that already, so we can just let them know what not to do.
Totally. I think it's something that like people who chase a dream or an idea, they tend to lean more into creativity.
Yes.
And that is important. And I think that needs to be partnered with either a business partner or hiring somebody who really can fill in those blanks. Because sometimes I think that some of the more business-minded people don't really lead with a lot of creativity.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they will work like more structured, business-oriented, make their money, And so it's good to have that balance of both of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just make sure, like any like entrepreneurship is tough. Like
Yeah.
you know, they preach it like one minute you can make $100, the next minute you can make $5. So
I related to motherhood.
you related to
I related to motherhood, and I am not a mother of a human baby, but I call this my baby, and my baby is 8 now.
Yeah.
But I think that it's very similar. Like in motherhood, you see certain aspects of motherhood as very glamorous. It's like, boom, you get the announcement of like, oh, I'm pregnant. And then you get the baby shower. Everybody gives you a lot of gifts. And then you have your baby. And then you have like that newborn. Nobody's helping you out. Maybe every once in a while somebody's gonna help you out. But like, especially now in this modern lifestyle, there's not a large community supporting you. And so typically it's the mother, or there is one parent who is like doing the majority of the work while somebody else is either hopefully providing a little bit with financial support or physical support, but sometimes that's not even an option.
Yeah.
And so you're caring for this human and trying to make sure that it doesn't die. And barely having the time to take care of yourself. And then you have your toddler phase where it's just like, you have these little glimmers of like, this was a good day. And then other than that, it's really stressful, but you get really cool pictures for Halloween or something like that, or Christmas photos. But people don't see the, like, you trying to get your kid, tie the shoe, come on, we gotta go to school. And it's like that constant having to care for something is the same way that you have to show up for a business, I think, in order for it to be successful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
And it's not glamorous. There's going to be those little moments. Like if I were to post about our anniversary every year, everybody would be like, oh my God, it's amazing. You're doing so great. But then outside of that, like if you're not actually coming here, nobody really is like, you know, and every once in a while people are like, oh, you still got that? You still doing that thing? Okay, that throws me off when people do that.
Or when they say love.
You still doing it? Or they go, how's business?
Exactly.
I'm like,
it's almost like they are expecting you to not be there anymore.
That's true. And sometimes I take it as like, well, Andrea, you do not post about it. You barely post. And you don't shout on the mountaintops of this. So I'm like, sure. And also it's like it just takes one little Google to check and see, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, but so, or you can just be like, how's business?
Exactly. Yeah, don't give me no, I hope you're still in business, but I hope you're not in business.
That type of voice
for sure.
is like, that's how I know like you're not in a close circle of mine. It's like it actually doesn't matter your thoughts, but it still feels like a little bit of a poke.
No, it is a poke. It's a poke for sure.
Why are you doing that voice?
Especially if it's like coming from somebody that you would consider like a friend or
even
a
associate.
relative.
Yeah.
So that's the worst.
It's weird. It's
close
weird
proximity.
energy. It's very like, it's giving hater.
Oh, all day.
It's giving hater.
All day. It's hateration all day.
Yeah.
And just being in this field, not even just being in the field, but just being an entrepreneur, you just got to make sure like your head is straight and your head is strong. Yeah. So I want you to kind of explain like, I know people speak on like meditation and things like that. How does yoga and meditation like go hand in hand, or does it go hand in hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, these are like really big concepts that I'm going to try to just like summarize into like one little quick thing. But yoga, the movement practice is typically done before you meditate. Okay. Because if you're like going around and just have like a busy, they call it like a monkey mind, where, you know, imagine you're just like stuck in traffic and all of that, and then your kids yelling and stuff, and then like you run into this, you're like, okay, I need to go meditate. It's just not necessarily that accessible.
Gotcha.
And sometimes you have to move your body a little bit to kind of like get that energy out. And then you can kind of be able to sit and like rest. It's like almost like a decompression to get to a point of like, okay, I can sit comfortably.
Yeah.
I've moved, I've stretched my body.
Yeah.
I can sit and like my legs won't fall asleep.
Yeah.
And so it was a means to meditation.
Okay.
This practice that we do here, the majority of the classes that we teach here are the 90-minute classes, which originally was dubbed as the 90-minute moving meditation because it's fully guided and it's consistent every single time that you come. Same postures, same sequence. And so you can go into it and like kind of like turn your brain off. And it is kind of like another way of having a meditation because there's also like walking meditations where you walk and you like intake everything around you. So there's different types of like moving meditations, and this type of yoga was considered as one of those things too. It's kind of like one and the same.
Okay. I'll say this, like for me, when I get up first thing in the morning, I've tried to meditate 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I'm over exaggerating, but I think sometimes maybe I need to like do it after I leave the gym, possibly. Because I know when I first wake up, my mind is just like, it's in the present. It's like, what do we have to do today? You know what I mean? Instead of just, like I may wake up a little bit anxious. Trying to be patient in an impatient world, like kind of explain like what are some like helpful things that I could do, or just people in general could do, as far as just meditating? Because you'll sit down and like I try to meditate, but then I might think about what I'm gonna cook tonight.
Yeah, I think like you can do like right before you meditate, you can do like a little brain dump.
Okay.
If you're a very like action-oriented person, you might need to be like, okay, today's to-do list. Yeah. Write it down. It's like, okay. Or if you are feeling it very much in your body, like you're feeling anxious in your body rather than up in your mind, then maybe you do need to like walk around the block, run around the block, do 10, 15 push-ups, do something, or just shake, because sometimes that's a lot physically. But I think that another way of just kind of centering your mind. I just thought of something. You could just like listen to a guided meditation. Okay. I have the Calm app. I love the Calm app.
The Calm app?
Yeah,
okay.
It's great. And it has like morning meditations, and it'll just like talk you through your day. So I like to listen to those. But I just came across Lil Jon's.
Lil Jon. He got
Lil Jon has meditation album, and he has an affirmation album.
Lil Jon.
Little Jon. And they are great. They're great. They're great because one, like his voice is a voice that we know, we recognize, and because we enjoy his music, there's like almost like an instant like level of trust there.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're just listening to some random person that you don't relate to, telling you to breathe, it's like, I'm like, who is this? I don't trust. What are you going to say next?
Yeah.
But like Lil Jon, I was like, I listened to it like kind of like what the heck is this? And I thoroughly enjoyed it. And so you can listen to something like that where it's guided. Okay. Or you can listen to just sounds. Yep, sounds. You can look up like there's different type of sound waves like hertz that resonate with different types of things that you might want to focus on. And so you could do that, and that kind of just, I think having a little bit more support than just silence and your thoughts. We live in a very digital world where we have a lot of input. We might have to work with that, at least to get it started. Gotcha. And then once you've started to strengthen that muscle and that discipline of doing it every day, then sure, maybe you can do it without a little bit of support, but I like the support. It's nice.
That's discipline. It's discipline.
It takes discipline. It takes discipline.
Discipline for sure. So, with you, in business 8 years and doing it for a good amount of time, could you give us some memorable moments, like moments that stood out to you or that stands out to you still to this day?
I feel like it's a daily thing. It is a daily thing, because just like daily, there might be those moments of like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
And then at the same time, but then like you'll come in and then somebody will be like, thank you so much for being here. This place is my second home. And it's just like, I feel like the community here has been so grateful, and they speak on it, and that helps combat the kind of inner critic that can come up with everything. So I think it's the daily interactions with people here that make it the best.
Yeah.
Because the people here are incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good, kind people.
Yeah. So even with that, kind of speak on the community in the whole. So like, coming to yoga, I'm sure that you may have like repeated clients coming at the same time periods, and I'm sure they probably develop friendships with people who, who's here as well, and of course the instructor, teacher.
Yeah.
Like, kind of explain the importance of community in yoga.
I think that is what makes the practice itself be a catalyst for change and good in the world. If we were solely focusing on getting skinny or looking a certain way, sure, that's great. There's a time and a place.
Yeah, 100%.
But I think that by creating a community that is welcoming and diverse, it gives more opportunity for connections, for community support, and it gives that, like I said, that opportunity for change and goodness in the world. Like, some of these people are coming from, a large majority of these people are coming from their own different pockets of, Metro Detroit, and some of them can be very like segregated, not very diverse. And so like coming into an environment like this, you're gonna be next to somebody who's here for the first time. You're gonna be next to somebody who's been practicing for 30 years. We all go into the same room.
Yeah.
And because of our location, and I think because of our staff, and because of the community that has formed here, our demographic is very diverse. And I think that is a really good thing and necessary in these times.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
A person like myself, like I had mentioned before, I'm not, like, I know about yoga. I'm not 100% informed. Like, we've done business together, and I've come in and shot like certain things. And like, what are some things that people should know about yoga that they don't? Like, you might see the big guy at the gym that's like muscle bound, but you tell him you need to come to yoga, he gonna look at you like crazy. Like, I'm strong already. I'm built up.
There's definitely people like that. Yeah. Yep. But we also get NFL players.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I would say is to really give yourself, I love to say do it for science. Do it for science, and meaning do it without having your vision set on a specific goal.
Okay.
Of I want to do the splits, or you know, I want to levitate, whatever. Like, do it for science and commit a certain amount of time to it. I always tell people, like, if you do a drop-in class just like one time, it's like trying a vegan meal and being like, oh, I tried being vegan and it sucked. And it's like, actually you didn't. You just ate one meal, which a lot of our meals are vegan that we don't.
Yeah.
Like a peanut butter jelly sandwich, that's vegan. So you ate a vegan meal. But I digress. But so I say, if you're gonna commit to like trying a vegan diet, you really have to commit time, and you have to plan it, and you have to structure it in. And when you go about your day, you have to make sure that you have the right foods. It's the same thing if you want to commit to a movement practice.
Gotcha.
And especially if you want to do it and start to form any type of discipline around it. So that takes scheduling, planning, and then when you do start to do that, depending on what type of yoga you do, because there's so many different types. Yoga is just like a big umbrella as far as the movement practice goes. And there's yin yoga, there's vinyasa yoga, there's ashtanga, there's this Bikram traditional hot yoga. And then you're gonna see a lot of flows and fusions and all of these different things. So whatever you commit to, they're all great, depending on, but I say try all the different ones, see what works for you, and really take your time to, and as you do that, you have to support yourself physically. So doing the right nutrition and hydration and sleep. And so when you do that, it really will be a full lifestyle change if you truly are open to it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay. All right, so let's end it like this. For anyone who is like beginning their yoga journey, what would you say to them?
One, no one is judging you. If somebody is judging you, that's their problem, not yours. Two, wear whatever you feel comfortable in. Do not try to like have to look like something that is uncomfortable to you. Gotcha. Wear whatever you want to wear. And three, find a place that resonates with you. That might be my studio, that might be another studio, but like if you go to one studio, one teacher, and you haven't hydrated, you haven't taken care of yourself, that experience might not be great.
Gotcha.
And you can't really judge it off of that. So you really have to take your time, just like trying to find a therapist. You can't just go to one therapist and be like, oh, that was, you have to go until you find the right person that you resonate with. And if you're gonna be spending time moving your body, you really wanna be in a place that you feel safe and like comfortable and seen.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out today for us to have this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We here at Hot Yoga Ferndale, Frame of Mind podcast. Peace.